Yo, what it is, YouTube? It's your boy DC coming back with another bullseye video here today on the channel. Why are pros obsessed with this specific EQ? Why are pros always talking and using this EQ to get professional gems? First, let's go over this. Don't forget to subscribe and also comment Neve 1073 down below, and I'll give you one of these free pieces of candy because I've got a preset pack here for you today, guys. Okay, so let's get to it right now. This is one of my first plug-in preset packs. I'm gonna start doing more of them, but let's talk about the UAD Neve 1073. Let's look at the mix I got.
Mas não nos podemos esquecer que viemos ao mundo sozinhos. Não deixo nas mãos de ninguém, conduzo e eu próprio assumo o destino. Não opto por muitos caminhos, o foco é no que me alinho. As decisões e impressões é cada com as suas. A cada dia tô mais tóxico, isso eleva-se e tudo saturas. Penso em tudo é altura.
All right, so this is actually like a raw mix. Like I literally haven't even touched the mix yet. All right, and what I've been doing lately too, check the channel, check my playlist. I've been doing like a full mix where I like boom for 1 hour. I just don't talk, mix, boom, just giving y'all these like real direct type of gems. All right, first thing that we got right here is the Neve 1073. Let's talk about the shape of the Neve 1073. Let's talk about it. All right, first thing that we got is the preamp section. Okay, we know the preamp section. You got two things. You got the line gain, which is what you're gonna mostly use when you're mixing. And you got the mic gain. That's what you're going to be using for like special effects, or pretty much if you got like a real Apollo, that's what you would be using. Then you have the shelf. I want to show you guys what a shelf is. So a shelf is pretty much like this, you know. The EQs are different. A shelf is like this, you know. So when you boost that 12K shelf on a Neve 1073, you're boosting 12K and beyond, like Buzz Lightyear, beyond, okay? Okay, everything. So after that, you know, you have the filter right here, which is pretty basic, you know, and the filter is pretty good. I like how it's very gentle. And then you have the bell right here, and then you have another shelf on the low. Okay, so the thing about the Neve is that everything is fixed, the fixed frequency. So that's why it sounds very musical. I want to talk about something important though, is the density areas of the Neve 1073. One being the low end, which is like boosted by a transformer, then the other, which is the high end by the transistor.
Mas não nos podemos esquecer que viemos ao mundo sozinhos. Não deixo nas mãos de ninguém, conduzo e eu próprio assumo.
Prefiro-me sozinho, ei, do que mal acompanhado, baby.
So that's the most important thing. Sometimes I like to just pull out a Neve 1073 and it just works. So, you know, here's the first preset inside of the preset pack. For you people who do want to go grab it, check the link down below and you'll see it, right? It's going to be 10 presets for $10. High quality presets, because I'm going to show you how we started a raw mix with it. Okay, so if you actually do get it, you know, you'd go to import presets, then you go to like your downloads or whatever, or wherever you put the folder at, you know, you go to your downloads, or if it's on your desktop, and then boom, you highlight the folder and boom, all your presets will show up there. Okay, cool. Now let's look at this first preset, which is the master bus preset. I did a smiley face EQ curve, right? So pretty much this is what it's gonna look like. It's gonna look like a bump in the you know, no, it's not. It's not gonna look like that. It's gonna look like this. It's gonna look like a low shelf and a high shelf. And this is a great move to start out mixing, because all you have to do is worry about the mid-range, but you know you got that big booty, you feel me? And you got the pretty face that's coming from both of these things. So a big low and a big top. Okay, so let's look at what it does for the mix.
Prefiro-me sozinho, ei, do que mal acompanhado, baby. Sozinho, oh, do que mal acompanhado, baby. Prefiro-me sozinho, ei, do que mal acompanhado, nigga. Sozinho.
Ooh, okay, so that's amazing. So, you know, if you're starting out a mix, using something like that is great. Or even if you're just trying to sweeten the mix towards the end, engage the EQ circuit, push a little bit of the low shelf, and then you push a little bit of the top end, and that automatically gives you a little bit more air and a little bit more bottom, helping the mix really get solid, okay? So, you know, that's really great. All right, the next thing that we have right here for the preset is I actually been watching a lot of Jason Joshua lately, and I got inspired to do this trick. So pretty much I have an 808. What I did is I paralleled the 808, I duplicated the track, and I used the Neve as a distortion. So this preset is gonna be the 808 fuzz parallel. This is great to introduce upper harmonics inside of an 808. So let me just show you guys this trick. You can do it regardless. You feel me? You don't even need the preset pack, but everything is already instantly set up for you though. You feel me? One click of a button and you already there, like the Back to the Future, in the DeLorean, all right, with the 808. So boom, I rolled off all the low end, and then I just did the mic pre. I blew up the mic pre like a creeper in Minecraft. Boom, blew it up about 40 dBs and parallel blend that in. So that's bringing out that the baby frequency, that Jetson made another one frequency. Let's just look at it. Also, too, you know, you want to kind of bring a little bit of stereo spread to something like this. This is great to help the 808 cut a little bit more, just the upper part, not the low end part. But look. So sometimes you might find the 808 might just be super mono. You just kind of want to spread it out because you got the kick, you got the snare, you got the vocal. Everything is competing for the center stage at the talent show. All right. You want to make sure that maybe use like something like a widener. And I like to use a side widener because it's going to create, you know, stereo information.
Já não quero mais. Viro-me sozinho. Ei, do que mal
So
acompanhado.
that helps the bass cut through a lot better, okay? So after that, you know, I love to use the Neve 1073. You can use it up to juice up hip-hop kicks, okay? So another one of the presets that we have right here is gonna be what? The kick knock. So the Neve 1073, this is the great part about it too, though, you know, to just learn about the plugin is like taking advantage of that low shelf and how, you know, sometimes low shelves are a great way of just really juicing up that low end, okay? So that's the great thing about the Neve. I love a 60 hertz cycle. That's usually like that real nice low knock that we love in hip hop. And sometimes just running it through the Neve 1073 in itself will just give it more juice because of the transformer adding that harmonic density at the bottom. Okay, so now let's look at what we got right here. We're gonna boost a little bit of the knock right here too. You know, and I love these mid-range frequencies that they all have picked out here. They're great for presence. So yeah, we're just using a little bit of that 60 hertz cycles, a little bit of that knocking. That's a great way to help that kick really start to cut through like a pair of scissors, okay? What are some of the other great presets that we have right here too? A little bit of a drum lift, you feel me? Pushing just a little bit of a mid-range crack, as well as just giving a slight hint of hair is great to help hip-hop drums lift up in the mix. So that's what I love about the Neve 1073. You can, you know, get sweetening of the top end, you can get sweetening of the low end, sweetening of the mid-range.
Me deixaste na tua sombra. Cansei-me de cálculos que já nem dou-me conta. Já não quero mais. Ei, do que mal acompanhado, baby. Sozinho, oh, do que mal acompanhado, baby. Prefiro-me sozinho. Ei.
So that's specifically on the drums, and I just love the way they give the drums a beautiful little bit of presence and lift, okay? That's the great thing about the Neve 1073. It doesn't matter if it's the drums or if it's the music bus, it's always gonna have something for everybody, okay? It's kind of like Walmart. It's got something for everybody, or Target, you feel me? So that's the most important thing. The next thing I have here is the music bus. I used it on a little bit of the guitars, and Neve's has always been great for guitars, whether it's just the distortion component or the mid-range EQing. So the Neve provides a little bit of that sparkle. It provides a little bit of that sugar cane. It provides a little bit of that spiciness, pretty much the flavor that makes everything not feel like it just came right out of a contact library. So that's a little bit of the generous warmth that the Neve 1073 is providing with us. And I think that's why it's great. I love this preset that I created right here too, which is the music warmth plus grit. So anytime you have like stems or something like that, it's great. Another gem that I love to do, if I've got just a 2-track beat, sometimes I'll just open up the Neve 1073, click the EQ circuit in and touch nothing, and it'll give some instant grit and excitement. All right, so let's look at what else we got right here inside of this Neve pack that we're working with. I think okay, so for the lead vocal, I have two presets. I got one which is gonna be the lead starter, and the Neve 1073 is so great on lead vocals because of the filtering. I love the combination of the filtering as well as the low shelf. It really helps me set my low end. Whenever I, actually do use the EQ, I always do this. Like I do a little bit of filter, but then I also do like a little bit of low shelving. That's how I really dial in the low end of my vocal, because a filter is like a greedy little brother. You feel me? It's gonna snatch all the low end. You feel me? But a shelf, right? It's gonna let some of that low end still be there. You feel me? So all of this is still here. It's just diminished. You feel me? It's just less. It's just gotten decreased. So that's the difference between a shelf and a filter. It's ripping it all away. Now it's not here anymore. Versus, still letting a little bit of that be there, just taking away some of it, but keeping a little bit. So that's how I like to set the low end between these two buttons. And then here on this preset, the starter, I just did a little crack of air, yeah, took out maybe like a nasty mid-range frequency. That's how I like to start on a Neve.
Ei, do que mal acompanhado, nega. Sozinho, oh, do que mal acompanhado, nega. Amo-te, não é de hoje. Nosso love vem de longe. Quis que pra sempre fosse, mas o love desgastou-se. Ei, voltar pra ti, prefiro dizer não. Marquei com cirurgião, transplante de coração. Danificaste o hurt com tanta desilusão. Posso até ser fiel, mas ser feito de cão não. Hey, não vou viver faz de conta. Prefiro trabalhar por tá colar na conta.
So it just really helps clean up the voice. But the Neve is also versatile towards the end of a vocal chain when you want to start boosting. So here at this point, I would just start boosting. I want more body. I want a little bit more mid-range. I want a little bit more top end. I want the whole enchilada, cheese, pepperoni, bread. Okay, I would use this plugin towards the end as the chain, as well to get those things.
Amo-te, não é de hoje. Nosso love vem de longe. Quis que pra sempre fosse, mas o love desgastou-se. Ei, voltar pra ti, prefiro dizer não. Marquei com cirurgião, transplante de coração. Danificaste o hurt com tanta desilusão. Posso até ser fiel, mas ser feito de...
You always catch the Neve 1073 and the 1176 together in many chains because they share components, okay? They both have transformers and transistors. A 76 is a field effect transistor with the transformer, and it has a transformer in it, and the Neve has it. So that's why usually those things just operate well, because they got the same specific harmonic density areas. Another great preset that I love to use the Neve 1073 for is this special trick that I always have, which is using it as a parallel distorter. That preset is also going to be available here, and it's going to be the vocal clarity parallel. Okay, so what I do is I go on mic pre, I blow it up, and I parallel blend it back in, and it gives an incredible presence for especially rap vocals.
Somos ser social, carregando a luz do divino. Mas não nos podemos esquecer que viemos ao mundo sozinhos. Não deixo nas mãos de ninguém, conduzo e eu próprio assumo o destino. Não opto por muitos caminhos, o foco é no que me alinho. As decisões e impressões é cada com as suas. A cada dia tô mais tóxico, isso eleva-se e tu te saturas. Penso em tudo é altura, daquela virtude que nos cura. Tô podo por dentro, eu afasto para nós, essa atitude é madura. Cantar o amor não sabemos, nós vamos saber a tocar. E o nosso estilo é dos livres, digo também.
It just makes vocals sound up front and aggressive. It sounds like a bully at the park, you feel me? It sounds like that one bad kid who was in timeout in elementary school. Oh my God, that's what it does, because we're taking advantage of pushing those transistors, blowing it up, overdriving them into distortion, okay? Cool. Now, some other things that we can use as well is like the Neve 1073, putting those things on background vocals and getting background vocals to really sit in the mix by using some of that dope filtering, dope low shelving, and maybe just a little bit of air. So when it comes to background vocals, I love to isolate the mid-range, maybe not pushing it too hard, but just, getting a little bit of that sparkle. Sometimes I might even, like here, I did a low shelf. Rather than to just use like a filter and cut off all the top end on your background vocals, some people would do like this. It's going to turn into a radio effect. Maybe you can just diminish some of that high end, okay? You diminish the high end, but you still keep it, right? And this will help your background vocal still have some type of brightness to it, but not step over the lead vocal, the air of the lead vocal.
Somos um ser social, carregando a luz do divino. Mas não nos podemos esquecer que viemos ao mundo sozinhos. Não deixo nas mãos de ninguém, conduzo e eu próprio assumo o destino. Não opto por muitos caminhos, o foco é no que me alinho. As decisões e impressões é cada um com as suas. A cada dia tomas tóxico, isso elevas e tu te saturas. Penso em tudo é altura, daquela virtude que nos cura. Tô podre por dentro, eu afasto para nós, essa atitude é madura. Cantar o amor não sabemos, nós vamos saber a tocar. E o nosso estilo é dos livres, digo também é aprender a soltar. Não é pouco que te faço sofrer, sofro porque estás a sofrer. Às vezes finjo ouvidos de mercador, mas ouço quando estás a Somos um ser social, carregando a luz do divino. Mas não nos podemos esquecer que viemos ao mundo sozinhos.
Also, the analog saturation of the 1073 smooths out the top end. But let's look at these ad-libs that we could add on too. I have two flavor ad-libs, one being clean, the other one being distorted.
Somos um ser social, carregando a luz do divino. Mas não nos podemos esquecer que viemos ao mundo sozinhos. Não deixo nas mãos de ninguém, conduzo e eu próprio assumo o destino. Não opto por muitos caminhos, o foco é no que me alinho. As decisões e impressões é cada um com as suas. A cada dia tomas tóxico, isso elevas e tu te saturas. Penso em tudo é altura, daquela virtude que nos cura. Tô podre por dentro, eu afasto para nós, essa atitude é madura.
So I don't even have no delay, no nothing on it. Well, I do have a little bit of delay. I'm capping, no reverb. I didn't even do anything else. That's just using a limiter to control the ad-lib so it don't jump all over the place, and just the Neve 1073. That's how powerful this tool is. You feel me? And if you know how to use this tool, or you already have some fast, lightning, quick presets like this, it will help you. But the most important thing is low shelf, high shelf, taking off the top and using the high shelf, rather than just doing the radio shit. The radio shit sounds so redundant. So I got these like cleaner style ad-libs too that can be achieved by just only ripping off the high end with the shelf. It just diminishes the high end. It's like if you don't pay your light bill, you feel me? If you don't pay your light bill, that's like a filter. They're just gonna cut off the light. They're gonna cut off the brightness. The shelf is different because it just kind of reduces your electricity,
Carregando a luz do divino. Mas não nos podemos esquecer que viemos ao mundo sozinhos. Não deixo nas mãos de ninguém, conduzo e eu próprio assumo o destino. Não opto por muitos caminhos, o foco é no que me alinho. As decisões e impressões é cada um com as suas. A cada dia tomas tóxico, isso elevas e tu te saturas. Penso em tudo é altura, daquela virtude que nos cura. Tô podre por...
See, now that's a little bit more cleaner. It's not as distorted, it doesn't have the texture, but it still sits in the track great because of that high shelf pulling things back, as well as the low filter cutting off all that low end, giving us an opportunity to help the ad-libs sit back in the mix. So that's a great bunch of different ways you can use the Neve in the beginning of your vocal chain, at the after, for ad-libs, for background vocals, for the parallel 808, to lift up the drums, to juice up the 2-track, to use as a smiley face EQ curve on the master. Like, oh man, this is absolutely amazing. And if you guys do want one of the presets for free, the vocal starter, comment Neve 1073, I'll give you that. But check out the preset pack, 10 presets for $10. And we're gonna keep doing more plugin preset packs because I love diving into the history of the plugins, and I love taking advantage and using the plugins in different ways that other people don't use them. So I just want to say thanks a lot for being a great part of my YouTube family. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate y'all now, YouTube gang. Peace.